Good morning. It's so nice to see everyone again today. I want to start by saying thank you for the opportunity to continue partnering with your department. During our time together today, we will be reviewing the purpose behind this project. My colleagues will walk you through the steps we took to get to our ultimate recommendations. Specifically, we will review the methods and models we considered and tested. We'll then walk you through how we consider the return on your investment, what we call utility, as it relates directly to your selection processes. A vital part of selection is ensuring your process is fair, unbiased, and of course, legally defensible, all while predicting job performance. And finally, we will review our recommendations and answer any questions you might have. Based on our research, both within your department as well as research across the industry, we have learned the majority of all external hiring for police departments focuses on recruits because higher level roles result from internal promotions. As a result, our work centers on selection of police officer recruits and no other positions within the department. Selection system validation is important for JAPD to maximize decision-making effectiveness and efficiency with respect to the prediction of job performance. We performed analysis on different models, considering both single and a combination of methods. We did this to understand how to best predict performance in consideration of bias, fairness, and legal risk, which are all crucial considerations for selection of police officers. The recommendations we make are supported by results from validity, utility, adverse impact, and differential validity analysis, which leverage job performance data from your current police force. And now I'll pass it to Justin, who will review the methods that we considered.
LSWS Consulting used several methods to analyze the selection measures that could be used to predict the job performance of a police officer. These include knowledge of police force procedures, general mental ability, job interview, and the in-basket test, also known as a work sample. We will walk you through these methods and provide a brief explanation of their application to the selection system. We first examined the validity of the selection methods. We wanted to learn how well each of these predicts job performance when used individually and collectively. Individual validity is when each selection method is analyzed on its own. When all selection methods are included in a single model, we call this composite validity. We then took the validity estimates from the 4 individual selection methods and compared them to the variance in job performance that is accounted for when using the 4 selection methods collectively in a model. In general, the benefits of using a single method are a more efficient recruitment process and less cost and resources to implement. However, this relationship is simplified because it does not account for how the different methods are related, and a single method can limit the knowledge, skills, and abilities, also known as KSAs, that can be measured, which risk being unable to identify all the critical KSAs of a police officer. For this reason, we used multiple selection methods, which provide more versatility in the selection system. This leads us to the next step of our analysis. We reviewed the results of the various composite models. This means creating models with all possible variations of the selection measures, with the goal of learning about each model's ability to predict job performance. This allows us to decide which model will be the best one for JAPD. We then shifted our analysis to determine the overall usefulness of these selection methods. This is called utility, and it relies on 4 factors: the validity of the predictor, the selection ratio, the base rate of success, and the costs and benefits of the selection decisions. Generally, the utility of a selection method is higher when the proportion of employees hired are successful in the role. This is known as the base rate, and it occurs when a selection method with high validity is paired with the ability to be more selective in choosing candidates, which is known as the selection ratio. Finally, when analyzing the selection methods, we want to ensure the method is fair, unbiased, and legally defensible. When doing this, we look at differential validity and adverse impact. Differential validity pertains to the fairness of the selection system. It exists if the selection method predicts performance differently across Black and white applicants. Evidence of adverse impact occurs when different demographic subgroups, in this case Black and white applicants, are not hired at a comparable rate. For this report, the 4/5 rule was used to see if Black applicants' selection rate ratio to white applicants is at least 4/5 or 80%. If the ratio is less than 4/5 or 80%, there is evidence of adverse impact. I'm now going to hand it over to Sabrina, who's going to discuss the findings of our analysis.
Thanks, Justin. Starting with the individual validity results, we found that the relationship between each of the predictors with job performance was significant, and GMA accounts for the most variance in future job performance. This means that GMA has the most predictive power, which is unsurprising given that critical thinking, which is part of GMA, is paramount for police officers to make good decisions. Next, we looked at the composite model, which accounted for significantly more variance in job performance than any single predictor, and GMA had the highest weight in this model, followed by the in-basket, interview, and knowledge of police force procedures. Next, we compared alternate models, which included 2 and 3 predictor models to ensure all options were considered before making our final recommendation. Since GMA has the highest validity, we added a combination of each predictor with GMA to look at 2 predictor models to see if they significantly improved the ability to predict job performance compared to GMA alone. The GMA and in-basket model showed the highest increase in predictive ability, or what we call incremental validity, so we chose to continue to build on that model for the 3 predictor model. Through this analysis, we found that only the 3 predictor model for GMA, in-basket, and interview showed a significant increase in predictive ability compared to just GMA and in-basket alone, and in total accounts for over 25% of variance in job performance. Continuing on with this stepwise method, we then compared this 3 predictor model to the composite model with all 4 predictors. The composite model had a slightly higher validity, but this was not significant and thus does not significantly improve predictive ability compared to our 3 predictor model. So adding that one last predictor is not necessary. For differential validity, we then compared our 3 predictor and composite model, as these are the 2 models with the highest validity. The composite model predicted job performance differently between black and white applicants, and this difference was significant from our statistical analysis. Therefore, the 4 predictor model has differential validity and is not a fair model. We also compared both models for adverse impact and found the same result for both, that adverse impact exists at lower selection rates but not at higher selection rates, such as at 90%. This is mostly due to large subgroup differences between black and white applicants that are observed when measuring GMA. Although adverse impact exists, the models are validated, and specifically for the 3 predictor model, there is no differential validity. Therefore, the 3 predictor model is legally defensible, and we will go over further strategies to mitigate adverse impact. These and the other findings help contribute to our consideration of utility. Next, Dante will talk through our recommendations.
Sound strategy starts with having the right goal. And in our analysis, the results of the composite model did not result in incremental validity when compared to the 3 predictor model. This means that between using all predictors, we recommend using 3 substantive measures to predict job-related performance in police officers. Those 3 are general mental ability, referred to as GMA, an interview, and an in-basket assessment. With this, we note that other factors impact the utility of the selection system. These include the chosen selection ratio, an observed versus predicted base rate of successful hires, and the inherent benefits of the selection process divided by the cost of implementation. A brief observation shows that GMA is a statistically strong predictor of job-related performance. Bearing in mind that historically GMA is undeniably linked to adverse impact, we note that it is only linked to a few of our critical knowledge, skills, and job-related abilities, our KSAs. As such, we recommend the use of an in-basket test, otherwise known as a work sample, combined with a job interview as an appropriate way to reduce the potential of adverse impact from the selection system while ensuring that job-relevant KSAs are intact. We believe in an objective strategy that assists in mitigating the specific effects known by using single predictor models. We can assist JAPDs hiring the best candidates from the entirety of their applicant pool that is legally defensible. Related to the cognitive ability, when work sample exercises requiring significant information processing are used, they tend to show higher subgroup differences. Since we are using general mental ability already, to minimize this effect, we recommend using other types of exercises for work samples that are not as cognitively loaded, such as role-playing. Best practice suggests combining predictors that mitigate subgroup differences. In this vein, we recommend that all assessors ask the applicants the same questions in the same orders. For the interviews, this is known as a structured interview. To further reduce the potential for adverse impact, LSWS Consulting also recommends that JAPD consider the following. improve the intentionality of recruitment practices by broadening the applicant pool, and to use recruiters that are diverse and already possess the standard qualities JAPD expects in their applicants. Research has noted that people are more naturally inclined to like and be influenced by those that are similar. We recommend having a diverse interview panel to strategically follow up by developing internship and enrichment opportunities for minorities interested in policing as a potential career. JAPD should also consider mentorship and with training and development programs for existing minority police officers to assist in leadership advancement and connecting affinity groups that broaden those recruitment efforts. I want to thank you for being with us, Lawrence. As a quick reminder, our project team for the selection of JAPD's officers consists of our senior consultant, Sabrina Leo, our industrial and organizational psychologist, Teresa Weber, and the consultants Justin Sherman and Dante Salius. Please contact us for any additional information or a detailed explanation regarding this and future collaborations. Throughout our consultations, we have noted that when people are given the right tools, they will design and build an extraordinary future. Thank you for choosing LSWS.